Alright, so here we are with Europe and all the countries, and I'm going to give you some tips and tricks for our quiz coming up this Wednesday. I'm going to give you all the countries, and for some of them there'll be tips, and I'll also give you some of the bonus islands or countries that could be a extra credit point on the test. So here we go. One tip I have for you guys when you're studying yourself, and this applies to every country or every region in the world, is make sure you create sections for yourself. So some of the ones we have here are Scandinavia, which is these countries. There. We have the British Isles. We have Western Europe, Central/Southern Europe. We have the Baltic states. We have East Europe, and then we have the Balkan states. And if you just make any regions, you don't even have to use those specific ones. And I just kind of drew basic outlines. But if you can create your own regions, that will help you out a ton. We're going to start off with Scandinavia, which is this section right around here. The first country we have is Iceland. Iceland is this country up here. A way I remember it is that ice is, in the north, you only get ice up north, and which one is most north? It's Iceland. Iceland's also an island. You can think of it as an ice cube in the water, and it's in water. So that's how I remember it. Okay, so the next countries are Norway, Sweden, and Finland. Now, there's a section up here where they all touch. You see, all three of them will come together in this little point. Norway is north. Sweden is south, and Finland is like a little finger. North, south, and finger. Finally, the last country of Scandinavia is Denmark, right here. This is really funny, but Denmark is where Lego is from, or where the headquarters is at least. And you think of Norway, it kind of looks like a high heel shoe. This little part right here makes it look like a high heel shoe. Stepping on the Lego, and everybody hates stepping on Legos, but it happens. So Norway is stepping on the Lego that is Denmark. Alright, the next section we're going to do is the British Isles. These ones are pretty easy to know. In green, we have Ireland. This is Ireland. And on the right, we have United Kingdom. Now, you should probably know the UK. If you don't, it's okay. Again, no real tip for it, but if you want, if you read it left to right, Ireland comes before you. I before you. Alright, our next section is the Baltic states. This is right here. These three countries, which is Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. These three are super easy because they are in alphabetical order once again. Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. The biggest country we have here is Russia by far. Russia is pretty easy to know. It's the biggest country in the world by a whopping number. Russia is the mother of all countries, and there is Russia. Pretty big. Now next to it, right here, is Belarus. Belarus has RUS in it, right there, RUS. Why? Because it is called White Russia. That's the direct translation. And Belarus touches Russia, so the two RUS's are next to each other. A little heads up, this little spot right here is actually part of Russia, so don't mix this up with Lithuania or any other Baltic state. This is part of Russia, so make sure you focus on the big three for your three Baltics. Next, we are going to move to Poland. Poland is next to Ukraine. The reason these countries are so easy to remember is it's PU. Again, it's just another acronym that's just funny to use, and it works. So I don't know, it works. So Poland, Ukraine, PU. Okay, next we are going to move to these 5 countries right in this little section. This section has a lot of easy tips. So if you guys have heard of Czechoslovakia, you probably have heard the term. It is no longer a country anymore. However, it is split into two. Czech Republic and Slovakia. Czechoslovakia. 2 separate countries now. But if you just say it right, you go in order. Czechoslovakia. It's just left to right. Czech Republic and Slovakia. Now, Slovakia is very confused with Slovenia sometimes. That one is down here. This one is the VEN, Slovenia. But also Slovak with the A and Slow V with an E. alphabetical order, Slovak is on top of Slovene. They don't actually touch either, so that's important to keep in mind. It is not directly under. No, it is not. They don't touch at all. The next one we have is another former empire, which is the Austria-Hungary Empire. And that is no longer a thing. But guess what? It is the same way. Split Austria and Hungary. Left to right. Austria-Hungary Empire. It's super easy to remember that. Okay, now we're going to go to 4 countries that are major European countries. And you've definitely heard of all 4 of them. And you probably should know the 4. But there's not really a tip for them. But you will easily remember these. Trust me. It's not that hard. Spain, France, Germany, and Italy. So for Italy, another tip you can remember is that Italy is like a boot, kicking like a soccer ball. Again, not really any tips to remember these, but they're just all big, and there are common countries. You should probably just know them. To the left of Spain, we have Portugal. Portugal is this country right here. Never really had a tip for Portugal, but I'm kind of thinking of one on the spot. Instead of writing Spain here, if you wrote it like down the line on the left, and then you just put the border, you have starts with a P. It's not a great tip, but I can't really think of any other tip for that, but there's Portugal. Our next country we have is Switzerland. If you think of Switzerland, what do you think of? The Swiss Alps. If you can remember the Alps, you know, you're not going to have mountains anywhere else except for this little region. Our final section of Western Europe are these 3 countries right here. We have the Netherlands, Belgium, and Luxembourg. These 3 countries are small and nimble. NBL, nimble. It's not great, but it works. Alright, we're going to move over and finish off Eastern Europe. We have Moldova, Romania, as well as Bulgaria. Ova, Ukraine. It is Ova, this little section of Ukraine. Also, this section looks like an O anyways. If you go back, it's circular. It's pretty circular. Moldova. So Romania and Bulgaria have 2 very famous people from them. They are Dracula and Yasin. If you want, DY. Dracula is from Romania and Yasin, the bear, from Bulgaria. A quick shout out to my boy Yasin. Okay, another big country we have is Turkey. And what does the country of Turkey happen to look like? A giant turkey leg. There's the bone. And there is the meat. Turkey. Finally, in Eastern Europe, we have Greece. Greece is one of those that does not have a tip necessarily, but if you think back to the book, the Odyssey that we read, Odysseus travels from island to island to island to island. So Greece has a lot of islands. Odysseus is from Greece. There's Greece. Alright, now our final section are the Balkan states. And we'll start with Croatia. Croatia is easy. It looks like a C. Literally is a C. Not only does Croatia look like a C, but he also kind of looks like Pac-Man. And Pac-Man is hungry for berries. And he's very hungry. BH, Bosnia and Herzegovina. The final 5 countries are a lot harder to remember. Unfortunately, there's not really a tip for them. And this took me a long time to remember, but if you just practice on Statera or Sporkle, you'll get through these 5 super easily. You have Serbia, Montenegro, Kosovo, Albania, and North Macedonia. Some potential tips is North Macedonia is not north, it is on the south, which is just funny, it makes no sense. And Albania kind of looks like an A, but other than that, there's not really a tip for them. So there you go, we have all 41 countries that we need for the test. I hope you guys found this video helpful. I tried to give as many tips as possible. Not every country has a tip, unfortunately, but I'm sure this video helped in some sort of way and brought up some sort of easy tips that could help you remember some of these countries. Now, if you want to stay, we have some potential bonus countries that, or islands or waters that could be a part of the extra credit. So first one I want to mention is the Faroe Islands. These are these group of islands above the United Kingdom. It is the Faroe Islands. Another possible one is this little island right here. It is called Isle of Man. For waters, this is the Baltic Sea. This one's pretty easy to remember because it is next to the Baltic states. where the Baltic states and Baltic Sea are next to each other. This is the Baltic Sea. Now, this giant sea right here, it is all a part of the Mediterranean. This is the Mediterranean Sea. And lastly, this sea right here is the Black Sea. So out of those 5, I would expect one of those 5 to be a bonus. Another one is this island right here, this part of Italy. This is called Sicily. And then this other island right here under Turkey is called Cyprus. Again, you don't need to know these for the test. I'm just giving you possible bonus ones. I'm not sure what will be the actual bonus or extra credit if there even is one. But those are the top ones that come to my mind that have the possibility of becoming one. Alright, there you go, the countries of Europe, and good luck on the test.